Hi, beautiful ladies. Welcome to Tribe Tuesday. How is everybody? All right, so I'm back again inside of the group. Of course, I'm coming with another shebang like I did last week. So I hope you were able to see last week's video. Please, this is what I want from you. All right. Go ahead, like this video, share it, and also share the group, okay? Because I just don't want to be selfish with this information. I want all the ladies, your girlfriends, your friends, your aunties, and everybody that you know to really like get this information because I feel like it's really good and it's going to be helpful so we can just continue to have amazing marriages and relationships. Okay. And so I'm just going to jump into it. My name is Wife Coach Era. I am the founder of Wife Tribe. We've been in it for about 2 years. Two, all right. And so still going strong. But I definitely need you. I need your support. I need you to just like and share and also tell other ladies about the group and invite them to the website so they can know what's going on with the official Wife Tribe. All right. And so today I'm going to be talking about unhealthy boundaries for married people and also people that's in relationships that want to get married. So this is information for the wives, of course, and then for the future wives. And so I'm going to be talking about three types of boundaries. First, I want to talk about the boundary with the opposite sex. All right. Then I want to jump in and talk about the boundary um, with friends and family. Then I want to talk about the boundaries in your marriage. All right. And so we're just going to jump right into it. So I have my notes. Listen, I'm not doing a presentation today again. All right. So I'm like, I just don't have the time to do it, y'all. I love the presentations are good. I did a great presentation with the Power Couple Playbook. It was amazing, you guys. I still have not put it up on the website, but I will very soon. So all right, just look out for that. So let's just jump into it, okay? So these are boundaries that we should have within our marriage within the opposite sex. Um, as you know, once you get married, it should be a boundary, regardless of how your relationships was before with the opposite sex. As females, the opposite sex are males, of course. And so even if you had male friends at one time. I had a lot of male friends. I had more male friends than female friends. Okay. And I really do like having male friends. Having male friends was great for me. However, when I got married, things had to switch up, things had to change. So usually when I would go out and hang out with my male friends, we might meet up at a bar or something, or meet up at his house or my house, or just meet up at an event. Once I started getting into a serious relationship, a committed relationship, and engaged and on my way toward marriage, I really had to sit my male friends down and really just have a real heart to heart conversation. And if they're real friends, they will understand that, things just cannot be the same between us, even though we know that it's friendship. It is a boundary that have to be kept when you become engaged and when you become a married woman. And so I did put a post up on Saturday to talk a little bit about it, the boundaries that's supposed to happen with the opposite sex. And so I'm going to kind of go over that a little bit. So, first, you have to understand that as a married woman, you cannot put yourself in a position to be alone with a man. You cannot put yourself in it, you know? And so that's what I had to do. I had male friends. I was alone with them at all the time. All the time. We were alone all the time with male friends or whatever, just kicking it, doing our thing, laughing, having a good time. However, you cannot expect your significant other or your partner, your life partner, to understand that relationship. That is just unreasonable. And you should just understand, okay, we understand that, this is the opposite sex. Some people say men and women can be friends, some people can't. In my personal opinion, when you have just out of respect, all right, for your spouse, that is just something you don't do. Don't ever put yourself in a position where you are alone with the opposite sex. All right. That goes both ways. Hear me out. All right. I'm not just talking about us as women. I am talking about your husband too. Your husband have no business, okay, being alone with the opposite sex at all. All right. So this is just not, even though this is wife tribe and I'm giving this information for the ladies, please understand that this goes both ways, all right, in order to have healthy boundaries in marriage, all right. So number two, if you are in a position where you have to communicate with the opposite sex, let's just say that you work with the opposite sex, you might have to do some projects with the opposite sex where you and the opposite sex have to be alone at times, or y'all working close together, whatever the situation may be, make sure that you're keeping your communication public, okay? Keep that communication public, keep it open where people can see you, where there's no hidden things where people can conjure up ideas about what's going on in that particular relationship. So if you keep it open and honest, um, in the public and with your significant or your significant other, your spouse, then it shouldn't be any problems, if you do have to work with the opposite sex. Now it's going to happen, but it definitely have to be respect there because you are a married woman. You are a woman that is about to get married. So you have to have that boundary and that respect for your spouse or your future spouse. Okay. So you keep that communication public, keep it open. Make sure that your husband know at all times where you are, what you guys are doing. Put your location on. Do what you got to do just to make your husband feel comfortable if you do have to be working. I'm saying working. This is something that's providing for your household and you have to work with a man or whatever. You just, make it comfortable for him so he can understand exactly what's going on. If nothing's going on, why not give him that information? All right. It's nothing wrong with that. I think as a woman, you're supposed to do that. And like I said before, this is vice versa. All right. And so, number three, keep a reasonable distance between you and the opposite sex. Okay. And so you just do that just because it's just out of respect for your spouse. And also, when you keep a reasonable distance, I feel like it's no reason for people to start developing things. Because a lot of times, let's just be honest, we are human, even though we are Christian women and these are Christian men. Um, if you're put in positions where you're around a person and you're getting to know them and you might form some type of attraction, or they might be funny, they have a great personality, they might be physically attractive to you, you want to keep a reasonable distance where a person wants to start develop feelings for you or whoever. And so if you keep a distance, then listen, that is very healthy because you keep a healthy distance to not allow anything to transpire when you guys are together. So, like, if you do have to work with the opposite sex, you work and you part. All right. It's no extraness with that. It's no, okay, I'm gonna see you outside, or let's go out for and have coffee or tea afterwards or whatever, unless the guy is married and you guys are like friend couples or whatever, that's a different thing. But if it's just individually, then no, definitely, definitely keep that to a minimum. Keep a reasonable distance from the opposite sex because we are all human and we are all prone to develop feelings. When you spend a lot of time with people, you get to know them on a different level, intimate level. You don't know what's going on in these people's personal lives. You don't know what they could be lacking. They might see something in you that they want from their own spouse or the person that's in their life. So to prevent anything from transpiring and things kind of getting out of control, stay away as much as you can. All right. And so, all right. So, marriage boundary number four, include your spouse as much as you can and whatever you have going on. If you are around the opposite sex, even in work, if he's allowed, I know a lot of women, including, my sister, she has an amazing job. She fly all over the place. She take her husband with her, and it's all good. It doesn't matter, include them in the different things that you have going on. Honestly, I love working with my husband. That's what I want to do for a living is work with my husband or whatever every day, all the time. That's just me, y'all. That's just me. That's not for everybody, okay? But as much as you can, try to include your spouse in the different things that you have going on because if he is in the know, then these things cannot transpire. All right, different things cannot transpire. So I hope that was helpful. Okay, that is part one. And so let me get into boundaries part two when it comes to friends and family. All right. I'm going to be really quick on this, and I'm going to be speaking on this from personal experience. It is very important when you are a woman. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm getting text messages about my sons in college, and I'm just like, I can't be, I'm trying to do a live, okay? I can't be reading this stuff and getting distracted. But when it comes to family, let's talk about family first. It's really important, and I already know that most of you women already know that you're not supposed to be putting your family in your business, in your marriage business. It's okay for your families to visit. And if you're a family oriented person, I know a lot of families that they're really close, they grew up together, they love their cousins and their, family members and their siblings. But when you become married, you have to have some type of separation where your family, even though you're close and you tell your family all your deep, dark, dirty secrets, when you become a wife, that is no longer so. It should not be so anyway. And so if you're having problems, even though let's just say your auntie or somebody in your life or your whoever you go to for relief and you just talk to them about all your different problems, when you become married, you just cannot do that. Okay, you cannot go and talk to family about your personal marriage problems. That is a boundary that a lot of people make a mistake with. They don't really understand how important that boundary is, because what you have to understand is your family is always going to side with you. And if you're going over there talking about your marriage issues to your family, they're going to, first of all, look at your spouse sideways moving forward, and they're not going to like them. And then when you make up with your spouse, of course, then they're going to hold a grudge because they're always going to be team you. So you just don't even go to your family with these problems. Okay. Keep your in-laws. I'm talking about your in-laws. When you get married, keep your in-laws, your mama and your dad, out of your personal business. His mama, his dad, out your personal business. Don't go over there talking to his mama about what's going on in your marriage. You keep certain things to yourself. I'm serious about that. That is so vital and critical in a marriage, because those things will be used against you. Whether you believe it or not, they will be used against you. So definitely, definitely keep these people out your business. I'm telling you, they will break a marriage up. In-laws will break a marriage up. Mothers, in-laws, fathers, they will break marriages up. Sisters, in-laws, brothers, in-laws, cousins, in-laws, they will break marriages up. Bonus children, stepchildren, they will break marriages up. If you are a person who just cannot keep your business to yourself and you just have to blurt it out, or they just know when you were upset, or y'all just putting y'all business out on Front Street, you can't control your emotions, and so they know when something going on in your household. That's bad, because that is going to create so much confusion in your household. And so people are going to start doing this in your ear, people are going to start doing that in his ear, and it's just going to create constant chaos. So keep them people out your business, okay? Especially the mother-in-law. I'm telling you, keep them people out of your business, because unless some of them have your best interest, but some of them don't. And so, listen, they're gonna always choose blood. Understand that. All right. And so you have to make sure that you're protecting your marriage. All right. And so that is boundary when it comes to family, boundary when it comes to friends. I talked about this before. You should not be with your friends all the time. And please stop telling your girlfriends all your business. That's just not their business, okay? Because at the end of the day, your girlfriends want your situation, especially if you have girlfriends who not married and different things like that. All they're doing is just really spreading your business to other people, telling them what's going on. Trust me, I've been on the other end, listening to other people's business, listening to people in conversations, gossiping about people's marriages. So I know people do it because I've been there when it's happening. So you have to be really careful about what you tell your friends. They have a lot of people who call me, "How y'all doing?" "Oh, I'm fine." And that's all you're gonna get from me. All right. You're not getting nothing else. Stop fishing. Because you have to understand that you always have to show a united front, regardless of what's really going on. That's when you go to God and you go to that trusted person. Like I said in the last video, whoever y'all find, count the person to counsel you and your husband. That's between y'all and God. and that's it. It's not for friends and family to be all up in there. You have to have that boundary um with people around because they will destroy a marriage. All right. And so lastly, the healthy marriage boundaries that I want to talk about. Okay. And so understand that first of all, you have to be responsible for your own happiness, as you heard that before. But a lot of times we go into situations like marriage and we just expect this person just to turn our life around, and our life is supposed to be just, so glamorous and so this and that when we get married. And we get disappointed real quick when we find out that it's nothing like that. And so you have to understand that you have to be a happy person already. All right. You cannot expect your spouse to just turn your life around and just make you happy, make you smile, make you laugh, and do all the things that you want to do. Your spouse is not God. All right. And so that's really not his responsibility. That is yours. And you're supposed to have a relationship with God, and that's where your happiness and your joy is supposed to come from internally. All right. Um, you can have friends, even if you are married. We talked about that, but because having friends are healthy, but you have to understand that they have to respect your marriage and also not fish to get information about your marriage so they can talk about it. But you have to have the boundary to never talk about your personal business, with not personal issues that you have with your spouse. Don't share the information. All right. And then, boundaries such as in marriage, it's like physically abuse. All right. Physical abuse. I've been in an abusive marriage before. Thank God that, I'm out. Ooh, thank the Lord. Because that was a horrible thing that I went through at one time in my life for several years. And so, you have to understand healthiness inside of a marriage and understand what is supposed to be happening and what's not supposed to be happening. And so you should know that, a man should never be disrespecting you, calling you out your name, putting his hands on you, making you feel shamed and all those different things. That is a boundary that is crossed inside of a marriage. I feel like physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse should not be taking place in a marriage. So if that is taking place, he has overstepped his boundary as a spouse, okay? And so he should never be abusing you physically, putting his hands on you, pushing you, touching you. I don't care how heated the situation gets. That should never happen, all right? And so you must have healthy boundaries inside of the marriage in order, for it to work. All right? So this is something that you should really talk about before you get married. All right? You should talk about this before you get married, because a lot of times people don't really have these really in-depth conversations, and then they come into these issues and they wonder why, their marriage is in complete chaos. And so I'm going to end it with this quick story. And so me and my husband was counseling a couple, and they did not know how to create boundaries in their marriage. The biggest part of their problems that they were having was because they lacked boundaries with other people inside of their marriage, including friends and family. And so, one of the things that assignments that we gave them was to start creating those walls and those boundaries. And we gave them a time frame to do certain things in order to, focus on the things that y'all really need to be working on inside of the marriage, and keep those other people out of it. And it was just something that it was very hard for them to do. They just would not be able to do it. I mean, we wasn't even in it 72 hours before the boundaries was already crossed. And that's why I'm saying these conversations have to happen before you get married, the real understanding, okay, how do our life look? I know I'm close to this person, that person, and all that. And so you have to have that family conversation, that in-law conversation, that stepchildren or bonus children, however you want to call them, conversations. You have to have business, people. And when you're running businesses and you're hiring people and you're working close to the opposite sex, and how do you have these conversations? Um, you really have to have these conversations about family and about the people around you to really have a healthy marriage, because I'm telling you, it seemed real cliche and it seemed like it's not a big deal, but boundaries is one of the biggest problems that people have inside of their marriage. And that's why I am talking about it today. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I hope this was helpful for you because I feel like this is something that I learned throughout the years. All right. And that's why I feel like now I'm able to share my story with so many women and really talk about what health looked like. Because the only reason why I'm able to really talk about healthy marriages is because I was in a very unhealthy one, very toxic and very unhealthy one. And so just to make women aware of what real good, wholesome, loving, secure, solid marriage is really supposed to look like. I talk about it because it's really near and dear to my heart. It's really a passion for me because I really want women to understand what they truly deserve and what they truly can have in a spouse. And sometimes we prematurely get married and we end up in these situations that's really hard to deal with and really hard to get out of, the ones that we want to get out of or whatever. But regardless of how hard your situation is, through God, anything is possible if the both parties are willing to do the work and make the changes necessary so they can get to these healthy relationships and and be happy, because a lot of people are not happy inside of these um relationships. Okay. And so there are a lot of different type of boundaries. Okay, so it's physical boundaries inside of a marriage, a man putting his hands on you. All right, there are sexual boundaries inside of a marriage where that you can be raped by your spouse. That's a whole nother topic that has happened to me before. I'm not going to get too much deep into it, but that is a boundary that can be crossed. All right. um Emotional and mental boundaries that we can deal with inside of the marriage, spiritual, financial, and time boundaries or whatever, because at the end of the day, we're all our individual people. We're coming together as one. And that's why it's really important to talk about this, what our expectations are as far as boundaries and what we should do to make sure that we have a solid, healthy marriage with everybody else around. So, again, guys, my name is Wife Coach Era. I hope this was helpful for you. Please share. If you want to reach out to me, info@theofficialwifetribe.com. That's my email address. My website is theofficialwifetribe.com. If you have any questions for me, just hit me up. I am available, all right, to talk. And I love getting emails from women with different questions. I am here to help you. If you want to book a discovery call, book it. All right, on theofficialwifetribe.com. I am here for you. I love you guys. Until next Tribe Tuesday, you have a blessed, and amazing rest of your week. Bye.